It has been more than 7 weeks since Detroit police boxed in a murder suspect who opened fire and was killed.
This case remains open and very troubling for several reasons. 2 officers were also shot, one in the leg, one in the head.
And as 7 Action News first reported, the investigation shows their injuries could be from friendly fire, officers' own guns.
7 Action News reporter Jim Kirchner has new information, tells us why this investigation is taking so long to conclude.
We are out here on Linwood. This is south of West Grand. It's out here on the street where this went down. New tonight, we now know that more than the 2 officers involved in the shootout were involved in this case. They approached from this direction where that white car is turning. The procedures used out here for the box-in, a major issue. It's different for Detroit City cops than it is with the feds. We know that there's a new piece of evidence that could be a key in solving this. A view from down the street. More on that in a minute. But for now, who shot whom is still the biggest unresolved issue.
What took place is accidental in nature, but it still is a heavy burden for anyone to carry.
Heavy because it is unresolved and because the shots may be from fellow officers' guns. We asked this retired Michigan State Police ballistics expert to look at the case.
They are in a crossfire situation, yes. You can't get around that situation.
Detroit sources tell 7 Action News this box-in is a bad tactical situation. And get this, it is the feds' procedure. This was a joint task force with the ATF. Sources say Detroit cops are not trained to box in. It actually violates department policies.
First thing I noticed is what appear to be several bullet strikes in the roof of the vehicle.
In the front vehicle is a Detroit police sergeant shooting at the murder suspect driving the middle car. The other officer is on the passenger side in the third car. And sources now say a third officer, armed with a shotgun, was also shooting from this angle. But his shots are not as likely to have hit a fellow officer.
These won't come apart very easily. They're not very high velocity.
During a recent annual memorial service for fallen officers, Sergeant Jeff Paholski was given a standing ovation. He was the one in the front car, shot in the leg. He declined to discuss the incident with us. The police chief hasn't said much publicly about the shooting. The investigation is being handled by Detroit Internal Affairs, Homicide, and State Police. The chief focusing on the positive for a gravely injured officer, Pat Hill, a husband, a father.
I touched him on his arm, and I think I just got a glimmer of a smile, so that helped.
The best evidence, sources say, is a Detroit patrol car responding before the shots were fired. And dash cam video is startling. Only 3 investigators have access to it.
I suspect it will very clearly show all the possibilities that we were speaking of and may lend itself easily to make a determination as to where the shot came from.
We can tell you that the camera angle from that dash cam video of that cruiser from behind where the 3 cars were lined up, so it is a good view of where Officer Hill was hit. State police are still doing the ballistics. The feds will not comment on any part of this case, including the procedure used out here. On Detroit's west side, Jim Kirchner, 7 Action News.
And by the way, Officer Pat Hill remains in a coma. Pieces of metal or fragments that were removed from him are part of the ballistics. Our thoughts go to him and his family tonight.